Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Related Podcast. I am your host, Amanda Bybel, and guess what? I am so excited to talk to you today. Yay! So, oh my goodness gracious. I was just thinking about how much I absolutely love doing what I do and teaching what I teach and just sprinkling all of the magic onto you guys over the last couple of weeks with the new focus on coaching. It's just so good. Like, this literally lights my soul on fire. I feel like I say this every single day. And, when we're digging into coaching techniques and all the things, it really is just emphasizing the world of personal development and self-improvement to really allow you to harness your soul's mission and shine bright in your own life. So today, we're going to explore a fundamental aspect of coaching, and this is called rapport. So we're going to talk all about the art of building rapport and its importance with connecting with your clients, because connecting with your clients is the first of the 7 steps of my Sparkle Success coaching method. Let's get started. Let's dive in. If you've heard of the term rapport before, then you probably think of rapport as like complimenting someone or being like, hey, I went to the College of New Jersey. You went to the College of New Jersey? We must be instant friends. So it's like, that's what we really think rapport is about, just like, making that common association. But rapport, my friend, is the magical state of feeling like you genuinely like someone. It's that sense of connection that really forms the foundation, like the fundamental foundation, the building blocks of effective coaching. So you see, people tend to like people who are similar to themselves. So it's just basic human instinct. So all coaching must start from a place of building that rapport. So if you think about it, have you ever tried to have a meaningful conversation or work with someone that you just didn't click with or you just didn't connect with? It's challenging, right? That's why building rapport is so crucial in coaching. It really helps to create that trust factor, that connection that is really just so essential for the coaching relationship to grow and flourish and to really impact that change with your clients. So I guess the question becomes like, how do you build rapport effectively? This is actually one of the very first things that we cover inside of the NLP certification that I teach, because building rapport is literally a key component to being a successful coach. So it's wild, like all of the things that go into successful coaching. And that's why, as somebody who is listening to the podcast, there's like thousands of you who listen to me on a weekly basis, which blows my mind and also feels really awesome, because that means there's so many of you out there who want to make that impact on the world and really just harness your own superpowers to raise the vibration of the world. And if you're here and you're listening, that means you have the inner whisper to want to really impact people on a greater scale. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is build rapport effectively with your clients or those people around you. So one of the first things to remember, and in the concept and in the world of neurolinguistic programming, is the basis that resistance in a client is actually just a sign that there's a lack of rapport. So when your client resists your guidance or doesn't take your suggestions, it's often because they haven't fully connected with you yet, or they haven't established that trust factor. So rapport is the bridge that bridges the gap. For that? Am I saying that right? I feel like I make up words on a daily basis. So when we dive deeper into the components of effective communication, this is where rapport is really just about subconscious communication. So one of my most favorite ever things to talk about is communication. So communication is like an iceberg, right? So only a small part of it is visible, and we've all can imagine what an iceberg looks like. And we've all seen graphics of what icebergs look like, right? But when you're taking a look at the iceberg, only a small part of it is visible, which is actually the words that we speak. So surprisingly, words only account for about 7% of our communication, and the rest lies beneath the surface. The rest lies in the subconscious, in the tonality and how you say something, and also in your physiology, so your body language. So words literally don't have any real meaning until you add the tonality and the physiology to it. So, for example, if I were to say to you, "Hey, I like your shirt," that's going to take on a lot more meaning than if I said it like, "Hey, nice shirt." Like, which one sounds more genuine, right? But I said the same words, I just said them differently. So depending on how we say something is actually going to determine the meaning behind what we say. So tonality is responsible for about 38% of the message you're conveying. So this is how you say something, the tone of your voice, how this conveys your emotion, your intentions, and your energy. So this is a really, really powerful tool in building rapport. So tonality is essentially, it can be broken down into a couple different things. So you can do your vocal tone, your tempo, your timbre, and your volume. So your tone is like your tone of voice, how high pitched or how low pitched you are. Your timbre is the clarity of your voice. So if you have a very clear way of saying something, then you're going to convey your message with a good timbre. But you could also have like a raspy voice, and that would be also a timbre of your voice. So your tempo is how quickly you say something, like if it's a faster cadence or a slower cadence. And then your volume, obviously, how high or how low, or the loudness of your voice. So what's really funny is when I explain this to my students, I do a whole bunch of like impersonations. And the funny thing is like when you think about your tempo, you have like those really, really, really quick talkers who don't take a breath in between any of their sentences. And then you have the really slow talkers. So a really quick way to establish rapport with a client or to break rapport with a client is to either match or not match their tempo. So if you have a client who's like that really slow talker, and like, you guys know what I'm talking about, like there's the slow talkers. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably the slow talker. Just kidding. And then you have the really, really, really fast talkers that literally you can't catch a breath. So if you have a client who's like talking really, really, really fast, then you're going to want to at least try and match them a little bit. So you're not going to want to talk really slow when you have a client who's a really quick talker. Fast talking and slow talking is also an indication of how people process the world around them. So for example, if someone's a really quick talker, this is an indication that they are also a visual learner, or they process the world through how they see it. You're going to talk really slow. They're going to be bored. They're going to get bored. They're going to have their mind wander, because someone who's a slow talker is more so kinesthetic person, which means they process the world and how it makes them feel. So our auditory people, the people who process the world and how they hear it or how it sounds to them, are a mix between both. So I always thought that was super interesting. And this can all be threaded into tonality and building your rapport. And then we have physiology. So this contributes about 55% to how we communicate things. So this includes things like body language, facial expressions, gestures, and even the way you hold yourself. So it's like this silent language of rapport that we often underestimate. So what's super interesting is that if you were sitting in a room with someone for whether it's a minute, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you can still communicate with them without saying a single word, and it's just through body language. Like, for example, if you come into a doctor's office and you sit down and you smile at the person across from you and they smile back, that's a gesture, right? That's indicating like friendliness, and there's almost that instant sense of rapport that you build with that person. really intriguing part is that vocal tone and physiology are not just conscious communication, they also tap into the realm of the subconscious mind, which is where my expertise lies and which is what fascinates me the most about the human mind and how we operate. So these are all the non-verbal cues, and these are so essential in conveying congruence and making suggestions effectively. Okay. So being in subconscious rapport. Okay. So to recap, when it comes to effective communication and building rapport, remember the words are just the tip of the iceberg. Okay. They're only responsible for 7% of what we communicate. Tonality is 38%, and physiology is responsible for 55% of your communication. So when you master these aspects, not only are you going to be able to communicate with your clients even more effectively, but you'll also build subconscious liking and trust with your clients, which is the secret sauce to successful coaching. Because when your client trusts you and when your client likes you, they're more likely going to take suggestion and take the action. And when you have clients taking suggestions, taking actions, they're going to start experiencing new results, which is going to have them experiencing brand new outcomes, which is the very reason why they're coming to work with you in the first place. So I wanted to just also address a common misconception about rapport. So most coaches and even many people believe that rapport simply just means being friendly or getting along with someone. Well, of course, that's part of it because we always want to have that like friendliness, right? You always want to be friendly with people, but the magic lies into understanding what it means to be in rapport. Okay. So rapport isn't just about being agreeable or having a pleasant conversation with someone. It's not just about that superficial friendliness, like that's on that surface level. True rapport, and I'm talking about being in real rapport, subconscious rapport with somebody, is a state of deep connection and trust. So it's a feeling that you genuinely like and understand the person on a deeper level, like you've known them forever. And when you're in rapport with your client, it goes beyond like pleasantries. Like you're literally having these life altering, life transforming sessions with your client. So when you're in rapport, you're creating this amazing environment where your client's feeling heard and valued. And most importantly, your client's feeling safe. So it's really about establishing this connection that goes far beyond the words. It literally transcends them. So again, this is super important. It's actually game changing when you learn this as a coach because clients are far more likely to take the suggestions that you give to them and the guidance that you give to them when you and your client are in rapport. So when they feel like that you truly understand them and that you have their best interests at heart, they're going to be much more receptive to your insights and also your recommendations. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast for a little bit, then you know that coaching goes way beyond recommendations and advice giving. It goes really into deep inner work and transforming the person's life, transforming your client's life. And we do this through tools and techniques that will allow you to master the subconscious mind, like NLP and EFT and hypnosis. So I want you to just imagine the impact that you can have in your coaching sessions when you're able to harness the power of the subconscious, when you're able to really establish this deep, deep connection with your clients. So instead of struggling to get your clients to accept your advice, which as a coach, if you're just advice giving, you're like, I hate to break it to you, newsflash, you're really just a strategist or a consultant. So if your client isn't even accepting your advice, then they're not going to experience the results. So what you're going to want to do is establish that sense of liking. We're going to match them. We can mirror them. We can match their tonality. We can match their timbre, how loud they are, how soft they are. Like if you show up to your client calls and you're like shouting and they're like whispering on the session, you're not going to be able to really gain that deep understanding with your clients. You learn how to harness the subconscious art of rapport. It will literally transform your coaching sessions from like a battle or a struggle or a question mark even into like this amazing collaborative journey towards the success that they're paying you for to help them with. So when you're in rapport, your client isn't just listening to your words, they're also picking up on subtle cues in your tonality and your physiology, which, as we discussed earlier, make up a very significant part of your communication. So that means that your suggestions become even more powerful and persuasive. So in a future episode, I think in a couple of weeks, we'll talk about the art of persuasion in an ethical and honest way, and also using this with integrity. And my students get the whole training on the art of persuasion inside of the Inner Beauty Bible multimodality life and success coaching certification, where they're also really tapping into understanding rapport, practicing it, going through breakout sessions. And we spend a lot of time on the art of rapport because it's so important to be able to harness the power of rapport in order to completely elevate and transform your coaching sessions. In conclusion, rapport isn't just nice to have in coaching. It's a must. It is an absolute must because it is the key that actually unlocks the doors to your client's mind, to your client's heart, to your client's soul. And when you're in true rapport, your coaching sessions will be more effective, more transformative, and more rewarding for both you and your clients. Your clients are going to leave your sessions legit shouting from the rooftops about how amazing it is to work with you, because building this rapport is the foundation upon which great coaching is built. So when your clients do feel that connection, they're going to really sense it and understand that they can achieve anything that they set their mind to because you're holding that space for them. So as you embark on your coaching journey, remember, it's super important to invest your time into learning how to establish rapport with your clients. It's literally the key to unlocking your client's full potential. So I hope you enjoyed today's short episode on the art of rapport. This is literally like the coolest thing ever. I feel like it unlocks like your spidey senses as a coach to really understand how your client's feeling and how your client processes the world and how they understand information. And more importantly, establishing that sense of trust with your client so that they can truly transform in your coaching together. So Sparkle System, the Inner Beauty Bible, multimodality, life and success coaching certification is now open for enrollment. I'm so excited. We really, really want our coaches to succeed. So we put so much time and energy into curating these cohorts so that it is the most transformative space possible. So we only accept people who we think will be extremely successful as coaches. And we also only open up 14 spots per cohort. There's already a couple spots taken. So if you have been thinking about applying for the Sparkle System, the coaching and practitioner certification, be sure to submit your application now before the spots fill up. We have a couple different cohorts lined up and graduations coming up. So I'd love to see your applications roll in, and I can't wait to support you on your coaching journey. I am so excited about all the things that I teach, and I'm even more excited about the coaches who are enrolling with us that are committed to changing their lives, elevating their coaching sessions so that they can deeply impact their clients. So thank you again for listening today. I look forward to seeing you all here next week. And always remember, you are you, and that is your superpower. Mwah! I will talk to you all later. Bye.